Hello, people of the internet. It is I, Gabber890, back again with another video. So I'm just going to be straight up. This video is a bit different. This does not have to do with my video game collection or video games almost at all. But it has to do with one of my favorite books slash movies of all time. And as you can tell from the title, even though we're not supposed to be talking about it, we are talking about Fight Club. So this is just, if you know, you know. An absolute incredible book slash movie. I saw the movie first, like most people, and was just blown away, and I had to read the book. So back in the day, my brother had a huge DVD collection, and it was pretty sweet, because whenever I'd go hang out, I would bring a little CD binder with me, and I would fill it full of movies, go home, watch them, bring it back, return them, and get new ones. And so I basically had a free Blockbuster. And I'd heard about Fight Club, and I saw that he had it, and I was like, hey, should I watch this? And he's like, yes. And I said, well, what's it about? And he said, just watch it. So I took it home, and I'm watching it, and I'm just like, okay, this is definitely interesting. Like, what the heck is this movie? And the big moment, which by now you should know, blew my friggin' mind. And it was like, okay, this just became one of my favorite movies of all time. And I went down to the bookstore, found this in the corner, and immediately read it. And I feel like what made the movie so great is that they took so much and focused so heavily on the source material. And that's what anybody should do. Like some of the absolute best lines and quotes that everybody loves, literally word for word taken straight out of the book. So yeah, definitely a great book. And if you've seen the movie, I highly recommend that you read the book or vice versa. And it's pretty short. I believe it's just over 200 pages. And so shouldn't take too long to get through it. But I also bought a Chuck Palahniuk bundle of books, and it happened to come with Fight Club. And I was actually pretty excited because this was like the movie edition. And so obviously you got the characters and kind of references to the movie on this one. So I thought that was pretty cool. But after I watched it and gave it back to my brother, as soon as I saw it at Best Buy for $5, I definitely couldn't resist and immediately picked it up. So yeah, I bought it on DVD and loved every second of it. Now, when Blu-ray first came out, I was actually kind of a doubter. I was like, dude, how can it get better than DVD? Because DVD just blew my mind just how much better it was than VHS. But I decided to pull the trigger finally, and I'm actually quite proud to say that my first Blu-ray ever was this one right here, Fight Club. I was like, you know what? Okay, it's the 10th anniversary edition. Got this really cool slipcover. And I pulled the trigger, got it, got home, popped it in my PlayStation 3, and compared the two. And yeah, I immediately became a believer in Blu-ray because the difference in picture and sound was just absolutely incredible. And I'm kind of looking forward to a 4K cut. We'll see if that ever happens. But then on Facebook Marketplace, I saw this gem. So when Deadpool came out as a promotion, they had a whole bunch of movies that they put Deadpool on the cover of and kind of re-released them. And so you got the actual movie, you got Fight Club, but just was really cool and funny to have this on the cover. So they were asking $3, and I was like, for a sealed Blu-ray copy of Fight Club with the Deadpool promotion? Heck yeah. I always feel weird though when I go to pick up something and it's like that cheap, and you're just like, here's your $3. Thanks. I guess I shouldn't be complaining, because I actually picked this up for $3. So when I said that it was mostly not about video games, that was the truth. But we got one. And so I remember I was definitely interested in this because it was Fight Club. but they initially were saying, well, it's not the greatest fighter. But yeah, I finally picked this up at a pawn shop, and I haven't played it a ton, but I was impressed with what I did play, just because it didn't feel like it was a fighter with a Fight Club skin. They actually went all out. Like, the menus were really cool, the music was right there on par, and they really had some really great references. So I actually need to play this a bit more and delve into that. But speaking of music, oh man, music is just so key for great movies and great video games, and Fight Club is no exception. I know when they were making the film, it was like very important to David Fincher, the director, that everything was just kind of cutting edge. And so he contacted the Dust Brothers and said, I need a fitting soundtrack. And I feel like that's exactly what they did. Just an incredible soundtrack from beginning to end, and really unique and fit the film. And so I was like, I definitely need to own a physical copy of this incredible album. So I picked that up not too long ago. Okay, so now we got the books, or I should say the book and the movie out of the way. So for quite a while, that was all we had in the Fight Club universe. Until Fight Club 2 in comic book form. And so I actually never really got into comics until this. I was definitely all in to check this out. And so I bought the first couple issues off of Dark Horse's website, and it was $3.99 for each one, plus $3.99 for shipping. So $8 plus tax for each one. And so I bought the first 3, and I'm like, man, that's kind of crazy. Like, there's got to be a better way. And so finally I Googled and found that, hey, there was a comic book shop near me. So I went in, and the guy said, well, no, I don't have any of those, but we can order them, and you don't have to pay for shipping. So I was able to complete it that way. And as you can see, they all had incredible artwork. And of course, these are the original covers, but they had variants, some of which were very cool, and I'm sure became quite collectible, as they usually tend to do. But yeah, Fight Club 2, I thought it was a really cool idea how they kind of kept the story going. Really unique and crazy, just like Fight Club. So, of course, after they release all the issues, then a lot of times they'll release a hardback copy where it comes with every single issue and sometimes a little extra. But yeah, I'll just give you a quick taste. But yeah, so I picked this up and actually got it pretty cheap, brand new. Originally it was $40, and I think I was able to grab it for about $17. And I actually waited for the hardback copy for Fight Club 3, which was definitely different. But hey, anything Fight Club, I'm definitely going to check out. So yeah, always glad for a continuation of the story. Okay, so now that we got the book, movie, and comics out of the way, we're going to move on to another important part of Fight Club that actually had like a very large impact, I feel like, in many ways. And I'm talking about the wardrobe. Especially Tyler Durden's is very iconic, very unique, and very diverse, that's for sure. So he wears many shirts, jackets, pants, shoes, and jackets. And so a lot of them were actually found in thrift stores. And so you can't just go out and buy a shirt that you saw in the movie, because, chances are that they are long out of print and probably destroyed. But luckily, we have a company based in Japan called Max Caddies that painstakingly tracks down just sources to try to get the most screen accurate shirts, jackets, pants, whatever they can for any film. But Fight Club was a big one. And so yeah, this is definitely a very infamous shirt from a infamously hilarious scene in the movie, in the projector box, if you know what I mean. So yeah, definitely I always liked that shirt. I thought it was really unique. And here's another very unique, cool shirt that was worn by Tyler Durden as well, the dirt bike. And so there was a bunch of shirts that were kind of copycats, but they were not the same. So they were able to track it down, get all the right pictures. And another crazy part is the back, I guess, is actually never shown in the film. But they were able to figure it out. And so you actually got what the actual back of the shirt had on it. So yeah, they're not cheap, but they're not too outrageous. But shipping was definitely a little pricey, so I decided to bundle and save. And there's definitely a couple more shirts and a jacket that I have my eye on from them that, you know what, maybe sooner than later I will pull the trigger on. Okay, so now that we got the shirts out of the way, the next part was very important to the film. If you noticed, Tyler Durden wears a lot of sunglasses. And a lot of them are very unique, and some of them have become very iconic and very collectible. And I'll start off with the pair that he is first wearing when you officially meet him in the film. Not the first time you see him, of course, but when the narrator officially meets him on the plane. And that is the Oliver Peoples Aero 57. And so I actually picked these up not too long ago. And yeah, I was really happy to do so because I really love the tangerine lenses. And they're just such a unique looking pair of sunglasses. And so, yeah, I grabbed those. And then another pair that I picked up, which is not in the film, but I guess at one point was kind of considered, is the Oliver Peoples 524s. Now, they probably would have been a silver frame and a different color lens, but I was able to bid on these at the last minute, and I actually won. And actually, I really like the black frame, and the yellow lenses actually don't obscure your vision too much, but are a really good match with the black frame. I keep wanting to say flame. I don't know why. But yeah, anyways. I've thought about reaching out to Oliver Peoples and having a different color lens made. But I would definitely hang on to the yellows for sure. Okay. So I got one pair left. And anybody that follows the sunglasses of the film should definitely know what I'm talking about. I am talking about the iconic and incredible Oliver Peoples 524. 523. But actually, these are replicas. And you know what? For replicas, they're actually not too bad. But yeah, there's definitely some differences. But I was definitely drawn to the 523s in the film, as most people were, and was like, that is a freaking sweet pair of sunglasses, and I need to get my hands on them. So I went to eBay. Well, unfortunately, at the time, there was literally only a handful of pairs, and they were going for about $3,000. So definitely out of my price range. And I was like, well, I guess I just won't be able to get them. But then I stumbled across these replicas. And, I was like, at the time, this is as close as I'm going to get. And so I picked these up. I think they're about $30 each. But I actually really like these ones quite a bit. They're still unique, and they capture the essence, But Of course, they don't compare to the actual real thing, which way further down the line I was able to get my hands on finally. And so let us compare and see. There we go. There's a genuine official pair of the Oliver Peoples 523s with the iconic blood red, or more correct, Canesian lenses. So yeah, I hadn't checked on them in many, many years and finally decided to give it a go. And luckily they weren't $3,000, but they were still way more than any pair of sunglasses should be. But it was finally within my grasp, and I decided to pull the trigger. And I'm glad I did, because, man, these are a beautiful pair of sunglasses. Now, they actually did not originally come with the blood red lenses. Originally, they released with tangerine lenses. And these are actually featured in the film. He wears 3 different color lenses. And so we have the tangerine, the blood red, and then they were called the smoke gray. But I believe that they were actually more of a greenish color, but they looked more like these. So this is what the replica is based on. But yeah, so there they are. There's the collection. One of my favorite books / movies of all time. That's my collection. Obviously, nothing too crazy, but something that I have really enjoyed collecting just as much as video games. If you have any cool replicas from Fight Club, let me know, or any cool memories, or even if you want to talk about what you thought when we find out the big twist near the end. But yeah, that's going to do it. Thanks for sticking around, and as always, have a good one.